going on? Give it yourself a round of applause. How you guys doing that? Thank you for coming out to the fabulous Club Comedy Seattle. I'm glad you made it all here safe. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't really know that. I'm just assuming that everyone here made it here safely. There could be a few missing people that died in a fatal car crash. I don't know, but of the people that are in the room currently, you look to be safe to me. All right, cool. Just by show of hands, how many people here have produced offspring? Any producers? How many people have kids? I could have just said kids, yeah? See, what's crazy to me is I totally forgot that it was possible to have a baby on purpose. Isn't that crazy? Like, it's entirely possible for two people to make the conscious decision of like, hey, let's make our lives a lot harder, yeah. Like, that's fascinating to me. Because I'm 26, and I know other people in my age group that have kids, but when a mid-20s couple has kids, it's usually just a result of, oh my God, I feel so much better without that thing on, whoops. And then they have a kid. There's no mid-20s couple that says, hey, you know how you make 15 an hour and I make 16 an hour? Okay. Let's make something that costs $200,000 over the course of 17 years. That'll be fun. People will use the phrase trying for a baby. Have you ever heard that? Trying for a baby? My mom's friend said that to my mom. She was talking about how she was trying for a baby with her husband. I overheard it. I got confused. I forgot what it meant. I was like, trying for a baby? What the fuck? What does that mean? I just pictured her and her husband like at a carnival game. Like, it's get 3 targets down for a baby. Step right up. Try your, like, get 3 targets down in a row, you win 1 baby. You win 1 Chinese baby if you get 3 targets down. It doesn't have to be a Chinese baby. Be whatever baby you want. I would pick a Chinese baby. I think they look cool, but pick any baby of your pleasing. No, I'm happy to be back in the Pacific Northwest. I moved to Los Angeles to do comedy. I lived there for about 2 years. Has anyone lived in Los Angeles? By show of hands, yeah? The rest of you just went there for Disneyland? That's exactly how you're supposed to go to LA. You go there, go to Disneyland, then you get the fuck out of that goddamn city. What bugs me about LA is with most major cities in the US, if you move to the high crime area, at least the rent is cheap, right? This does not apply to Los Angeles or Seattle, really, nowadays. But like wide-eyed young actors will move to LA fresh out of acting school, and they'll go, if I move to the place with the gun violence, will the rent be $500? And then LA goes, no, you're gonna get jumped walking from your car back home, but you want to be a star, don't you? Now, I made the mistake of moving to Los Angeles as a brown man who does not speak Spanish. It was very difficult for me. I was embarrassed to go up to all those Mexican taco trucks and the Mexican fruit stands because I would walk up to one and they would always assume I was Latino. They would greet me the same way. They would just say, hola, señor, and then I would respond with, hi. Could I have some pineapple, please? Thank you. And then they would look at me like I was some type of non-Spanish speaking Mexican, which I'm not. I'm an Indonesian man. It's a totally different place. Indonesia's like if you were to take Mexico and you threw it at a bunch of rice paddies in Islam. You'd get Indonesians. I don't know if you remember middle school social studies, but that's how it works. Mexicans plus rice paddies in Islam equal this right here. You know, us brown people come in many different flavors. There's brown people who make carne asada, and then there's brown people who cut the feet off of chickens, boil the chicken feet, and scrape the chicken feet against their teeth. I always look for an Asian table when I say that joke. I think I found one right. Because the Asian table they'll always rejoice. Like, hell yeah, you know our shit, chicken feet. Hell yeah, brother. That's not what Asians say. They don't. A group of Asians at a comedy club do not say, hell yeah, brother, but that's what their opinion translates to in my head. No, it was a rough time living in that goddamn city of Los Angeles. So when I initially moved to LA, I moved there with $4,000 in my bank account, unemployed, and I assumed it was the 1930s and I'd be fine. But yeah, $4,000, that should last me a good amount of time. $4,000 was a lot of money when I lived at my parents' house. I'll be okay. No, the only place that would take me when I moved there was a hostel. I lived in a hostel full time for a year, and just to give you an idea, I had a total of 13 roommates the first year I lived in LA. 13 roommates, 7 cats. We didn't even intentionally have 7 cats. They just kept getting pregnant. But no, I lived in a shared room with 5 other men. It was 5 men in one bunkhouse. I had to climb up a wooden ladder to go to bed every day. And of these 13 roommates, I was convinced that one of those motherfuckers was stealing my body wash. And I've never been closer to murder in my entire life. I started sniffing my roommates when they walked out of the shower. I was like, hey man, you smell like Old Spice Tidal Wave. I'm supposed to smell like Old Spice Tidal Wave. Why the fuck do you smell like me? I started weighing my body wash on one of those drug dealer scales. I only use 1.5 grams of body wash a day. I'm down 4 grams from yesterday. What do you know about those 2.5 grams of body wash, dog? Where are my COVID weight gainers at? Anyone else get thick during the pandemic? Yeah. Yeah, I gained a total of 13 pounds or not 13, 30. I don't want to lie. I've gained 30 pounds over the last 2 years, and I want to preface this by saying I know I'm not blatantly fat. Like, people don't look at me and think, oh, that guy's enormous. But I'm what I like to call shirt-off fat, you know? Like, I look reasonably in shape if I'm wearing at least 2 layers of clothing, but I prefer to not walk against the wind while only wearing a t-shirt. Shirt-off fat. No, I thought the silver lining to getting fat as a comic was I had this whole realm of fat jokes I could do, but then I quickly realized that there's a minimum weight requirement for doing fat jokes. Because if I attempt fat jokes, there's 0 fat people in the crowd that take me seriously. Like, they don't let me into their club. They'll just glare at me with their arms crossed, like, you're not fat, I'm fat. My doctor gave me 3 weeks to live, I'm fat, you're not. No, I remember my first attempt at doing new fat jokes. I was at an open mic, and it didn't go well. I did 3 minutes of new fat jokes, I bombed, and coincidentally, the comic that came up after me was this enormous black lady, and that's how I'm going to describe her, okay? If I say this nice lady, that doesn't paint a picture in your head. So anyways, this Ford F-150 size black lady, she takes the stage after my failed fat jokes, and I'll never forget what she said. Her exact words were, I had this joke about exceeding 200 pounds for the first time, so she gets on stage after me, and her exact words were, 204, 204, I came out my mama pussy moan 204. And I cannot compete with that. I came out my mama pussy more than 204. You guys are fun. This is something I need to get off my chest. I think Red Riding Hood deserved to die. Exactly, you know what I'm talking about. No, because I've studied multiple versions of the story throughout the years, and it's so clearly a wolf every goddamn time. It doesn't even remotely look like a human grandmother. It's just a wolf wearing people clothes. How could she not see that? Like, Red Riding Hood will walk in all dumb, like, how big your eyes have gotten, Grandma? Those are fucking wolf eyes, you dumb bitch. Get the hell out of there. How big your teeth have gotten, Grandma? Those are wolf teeth. Get the fuck out of your grandma's house. What are you doing? Like, if I walked into my grandmother's home and I saw a wolf wearing my grandma's clothing, I would leave the vicinity. I wouldn't just start asking it questions. Like, hey, what's up, Grandma? Why the fuck do you look like a wolf? Oh, hold on, I think you're a wolf. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. No, I've known what a wolf has looked like for several years. I'm much smarter than Red Riding Hood. I write that on my resume. I'm getting interviewed for the job, and the interviewer's like, it says here you know exactly what a wolf looks like. How do you think that'll help the company? And I'm like, oh, well, if a wolf walks into the office, I'll let you guys know. I'll point it out. Look out for that wolf. Let's get out of here. I don't want to do real work. I just want to look around for wolves, you know? All right, I'll end you guys with this. I work a pretty corporate job right now. I'm sure a lot of you have been through this. But prior to starting this job, I had to do like this pre-employment training where they just sit all the new hires down and have them watch PowerPoints. There's like a workplace attendance PowerPoint, a cybersecurity PowerPoint, and a sexual harassment PowerPoint. And the sexual harassment PowerPoint was my favorite because all they do is they sit all these people down and they have them watch like cartoons of people sexually harassing each other. And they're like, all right, hopefully you don't cause an HR disaster, you're good to go. And in this specific PowerPoint, there were two characters, John and Sarah, and there was this commentator's voice. And what happens is the commentator says, John notices that his coworker Sarah has recently gotten a haircut. Would it be appropriate for John to compliment Sarah's haircut? And it gives multiple choice answers, 3 of them, and it goes, A, no, John should not compliment Sarah's haircut. B, yes, John should feel comfortable complimenting Sarah's haircut. Or C, John should make sure that Sarah is okay with receiving compliments about her haircut before complimenting her haircut. And the correct answer was C, but isn't that so much more suspect than just saying, hey, Sarah, nice haircut? Like, can you imagine that conversation? Hi, Sarah. Your hair is shorter than it was last week. Would it be okay if I said something about it? And then can I sit on your face? It's like, no, John, you forgot protocol, John. You remember the training. All right. We have a fantastic show for you guys tonight.